about Apple MacBook Neo, the entry-level Mac for everyone. Let be for someone who is just getting started into the Apple Mac ecosystem. The MacBook Neo was totally unexpected, a new chapter in Apple's life, I would probably say. Probably a Mac that it has its own perspective, I would say, for each individual, for each person. Personally, for me, the Mac Neo is a slightly, not a bum off or a letdown, I would say. Personally, for me, it's more of a, what do you say? The colors are great. I really love the blue, the indigo blue, the neon, the pink, and the silver, and maybe the other colors as well. But really, what I was expecting and what Apple did is something I knew Apple would probably do, and that is Apple yet again did something that should have not done in the first place, but such fine from Apple's perspective, and that is not having the fingerprint touch ID on the base level, and 260 GB should have not been there. But I do understand why Apple has gone for that SSD and 8 GB of RAM. That makes sense from Apple's perspective. Entry level Mac, and this probably Mac is not for everyone. Personally, it would be for people who are having kids or somebody who just want a compact Mac, or a Mac just for what do you say, for kids, or just a second hand laptop or whatever. Now, when I say second hand laptop, I mean like a secondary laptop. Basically, I'm trying to say, like Windows being the primary and Mac being the secondary laptop. So yeah. As for the price point of 599, feels great. But here's what things start to make a bit different if you ask me personally. If I was given a choice to choose between an entry level Mac, I would have probably gone for the Mac Mini over the Mac Neo. There are two key reasons for that. One, the display is not for me. Two, the 599 cost is a bit haywire or a bit too pricey for my what do you say, my need, or should I say for someone who wants to just get started into the Mac lineup and try to embrace the Mac ecosystem. That's not something I would personally go. I would rather spend a big extra, get the MacBook Air 15-inch that way, or get the Mac Mini. Reason why Mac Mini is because yes, it does not have a display. You need to spend almost 100 grand or 200 grand, but at least you're getting a better ecosystem, better configuration for that matters. And I feel that's a worth a buy than the Mac Neo, Lenovo. And comes rest. Because if you personally ask me, people don't understand. You might regardlessly pay 600 bucks, 700 bucks a year, like in year 50k above. But people don't realize is what you're paying for the premium price for a laptop currently in India or wherever else you're living in the world. It's like putting the money in the water. That's what I would. But with Mac Neo, it's a bit 50-50, or in my case, it's like 10-20 or whatever. But the real question is, should you buy it? Personally, I would probably say you keep it, or I would tell you three recommendations from my end. If you have the budget, get the Mac Mini and spend a big extra on the peripherals and the monitor you have. Or if you have a monitor, just get the Mac Mini and you are sorted. You already have a MacBook and keyboard. Just have it. That would be much better. It is personally for your kids or someone who is non-techie, who just wants the basic stuff done. This is great, but get the 512 GB variant. That's the higher end variant, I would personally say. Yeah. But if you're someone like me who's into creative work, who's into the normal usual stuff or video editing for that matter, either get the 14-inch MacBook Air or the 15. Personally, I would say the sweet spot is MacBook Air 15-inch. Since the time it's come out, I might be the only one who's like crazy about it or in love with it. Either way. About MacBook Neo special is because Apple is really trying to refine or make its product lineup more user friendly or make it available for all age groups. I feel we initially saw with the iPad, with the iPhone, and now with the Mac lineup. I personally feel, and seeing that transition Apple do since the time Tim Cook is there. I'm probably saying this, but I don't know why I'm saying it. But yes, since the time Tim Cook has been the CEO of Apple and in charge of Apple product lineup, I feel this is a very it's really good to see what Apple is doing. And talking on the price bracket of the Apple products, let it be the iPhone, the Mac, the Apple Watch, and all that, there's a very cohesive experience, very in a way you feel like every price bracket fits the perfect individual, regardless of their budget. You might be someone who just want to get into the Apple ecosystem, or you're someone like me who's neither consider himself someone who like to spend on Apple much, but at the same time like to spend on Apple products that are worthy your money. Personally, if you ask me, in the current date, the best Apple products, if you personally ask me, are my favorite is the iPhone 17, the MacBook Air 15, and the Mac Mini. And as for the Apple Watch, it will probably be a toss-up between the Apple Watch SE and Ultra. Ultra is because I'm having a personal love connection with Apple Watch Ultra, not because of the price tag, rather because about how light it feels, how it does not make you feel like okay, this watch is just for a few people. The price background might be high, but the feeling you get while owning the Apple Watch Ultra, like next level, I feel. And maybe that's the bigger screen than when you wear it, you feel very comfy, you will feel the same. As for the Mac lineup, Mac Mini, I feel it's a great buy. I feel worthy of paying the every penny. I feel people might now not realize it, but the things Mac Mini can do, I think none other Mac lineup could probably do. You can use Mac Mini in many multiple ways than you can ever imagine. As for the Mac lineup, there's something I really I'm not sure if this is Apple thing or this individual perspective or this is just me being me. See here, Apple has iMac, Apple has HDR display. But when it comes to that sort of these two things, when the iMac and the HDR device, somewhere feel Apple yet still needs to refine it, or at least bring up the Mac lineup, like how the MacBook Air lineup feels, the Mac Neo feels, or MacBook feels. When you look at the sibling pair with the sizes and everything, the config, everything, the colors, they somewhat make sense. But with iMac and the HDR display, it hardly feels anything that great, I feel. I mean, okay, iMac up to some extent, I feel okay if you are just an individual or just a family that's using, or someone in in the 90s era, like in the late 90s or the early 90s, like when the computer was booming and everything, you always used to have a single PC. iMac is a perfect fit for that, but if you are someone who really likes the PC side of thing, iMac would be right for that. But personally, I feel in this day and age, everyone surrounded by technology and laptop being the main co-front. Personally, if you ask me, I'm still afraid of that. When I say afraid, when I see people doing things with laptop, I'm like, take a chill pill. You don't need to be focusing on the laptop way too much. But yes, yeah, I'm not saying phones are getting addictive, but this thing is, we need to slow down on tech. It's personally my preference. Our usage limit should be limited. The only tech product till day I feel worth your investment is the iPad. Don't ask me why. I still love iPad over the iPhone or the Mac for that. Mac I cannot conclude much, but yes, iPad is my personal go-to Apple product, regardless of anyone's. Second would probably be Mac Mini, but yes, I know I've been rambling much about. I've been rambling much. I've been rambling a lot in this video, but I really wanted to give my perspective on how I feel about the Mac Neo and its price point and how the configuration and the thing that I feel is good to see. Actually, the product is not really bad in a way, or good, bad, or ugly. It's just a right product for the right kind of a person, I would say. Like it's like one of those Apple products where I really cannot tell it's bad, or like to give you a better perspective is like the iPhone 16, or the iPhone 16 or the iPhone 17e. These products, if you look at it, it's not for the average Joey, I feel personally. But if you are someone who just want to get on the Apple ecosystem, it's fine. But with the Mac Neo, I don't feel that kind of a vibe or that kind of a feeling that, oh, do not get this product. Go buy this product. You will love it, hate it. That all really depends on to you. But as a product, an Apple first time trying to do a product that is out of their comfort zone or something Apple has never done, I feel the Mac Neo should really be appreciated. And yes, one more thing I really want to tell is that I'm someone like Apple product lineup with the iPad colors have not been great, but seeing the Mac Neo colors are great. I feel it vibes with everyone. I mean every generation I feel right. Personally if you ask me I like all the colors. But if you are to I'm more fond of the indigo blue I feel. The pink and maybe then the neo. But apart from that, yeah. Do let me know how you feel about the Mac Neo. How, are you going to buy it or are you going to recommend to anyone or you feel you are still waiting for something remarkable to happen with the MacBook Neo? Personally, if you ask me, if size was not my constraint, then I would have gone for the 205 GB, the high-end model of Mac Mini or Mac Neo. Apart from that, I would probably stick to it for a couple of years and then gone to a higher MacBook lineup for that matter until I get myself too familiar with the Mac ecosystem, because I know getting familiar with the Mac ecosystem is not the same way getting familiar with the Windows ecosystem, and that's a whole ball game altogether. But yes, but the transition that I'm seeing with Apple this time around feels remarkable. I feel Apple needs to be given credit where it's due, and this time Apple has done something the impossible, something out of the box, I would say. Not out of the box, but something they're experimenting, I would say. And that's one of the thing. Do let me know what else video you would like to wish to see, and if there's anything you want me to answer, pin down in the comment section below. And yeah, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. Till then, this is your PoeticWhiz. Do like and live your dreams.